everybody. Welcome back. Stu Clark here. Today's going to be a fun one, so I hope you stick around. We're going to go looking for Virginia rail. These are a super elusive marsh bird, so they like the deep, thick grasses, reeds of the marsh, right in the bulrushes and the like. If you've never heard of them before, you've most likely heard of a saying that pertains to them, and that's thin as a rail. And what it is, they're a plump little bird, but they're really skinny. And when you watch them, they weave their way through all the reeds. Super cool bird, really tough to photograph. They're actually a real challenge, and I really enjoy that challenge. So today we're gonna head out, again, down at one of my local estuaries. Appreciate all the new subscribers. If you're getting anything out of this channel and you're enjoying some of the content, please consider liking and subscribing. Help me get to that magical 1,000 subscribers so I can keep this all rolling and hopefully keep bringing you more interesting content here from Vancouver Island. What we're going to do today, we're going to go set up on the edge of the bulrushes. I've heard them over the last few nights when it's been out in the evening, so I know where they're hanging around. So we're going to go set up right on the edge of that, get down low, and hopefully we get lucky and we get some kind of coming out feeding around the edges. So this is going to be shooting bank A, high speed all the way around. We will be filming at 120 frames per second, 10-bit H.265. And this will allow me to, because any glimpses we get of them will be really fleeting to say the least. It'll be kind of in the reeds, out the reeds. A lot of times you'll set up on a bit of a channel, so you know that they're working their way down, feeding as they're coming down. So that's where, like I say, it's just such fleeting glimpses. You've got to shoot at high frames rate so you can slow them down. This one's a tough one. What I'll probably do as well is I'll incorporate some different audio devices. So I've got my Zoom H2N, which I'm going to set up close to the reeds so that any calls that we get will be quite close to them. And it'll also be down low, so hopefully out of the wind. It's a bit windier than ideal today. This is a really technical shoot. It's not an easy bird, but it's really fun. I really enjoy these more difficult shoot. This is going to be, you want to be on your game for this bird. These are, they're so quick. A lot of times they'll just poke their head out. You might get a second, maybe 2 seconds. So what we'll do in this is we'll pre-focus to make sure we're right at the edge of the reeds. This is where my shooting banks, with shooting bank A, I've got the single point. And I've had a lot of people commenting about why not use the wide area small, because you also get subject detection with it. And with actually shooting these guys the other day, I found that there's a real need to not have subject detection for some species, and this is one of them. Because the grasses and their habitat is so tight, it's so thick, there's a lot, you really need to be able to just zero right in on that one little point. So you can just this tiny point on the eye, and you're not picking up the grasses, you're not picking up sticks and everything else in the environment. I'm going to be using 3D, most likely will be the autofocus I'm using for most of this shoot. And then single point will be the other one where with single point, again, I can pick up. And this will be sometimes as they're walking out, as they're getting to the edge of the grass, they'll pause and you just see a bit of their eye peeking through. And that's where you want to have that single point. So you can kind of put it right on the eye and you can avoid the camera auto detect trying to pick up subjects when it's struggling to find the bird. So in video, I'll have it set up with AFF. And then so with AFF, and again with the AF on button, when you press the AF on button, it locks out the focus. So with these guys, it's really important. So if they do happen to pause and you've got a section where you can kind of zero in on them, once the camera focuses, hold the AF on button down and it will lock focus. And it really, really important. Like I say, this is, you got to pull out all the stops with these ones. Definitely want to have focus peaking on for manual focus as well. A lot of times I'll find that, especially as they're moving into the grasses and things, you'll find that sometimes the camera just won't keep moving once they get hidden behind grasses. So having the focus peaking on where you can just manually focus it and kind of still get it on the eye easily, really important. So that's another trick that I'll definitely be utilizing today. Like you say, lots of fun, super technical shoot. Just waiting for it to kind of, the clouds are moving in a little bit, which is great. We need ideally one overcast for this. Yeah, let's go see what we can find. Awesome. Hopefully you stick around. Such cool birds. They have that really, really interesting call. Spring is definitely in the air. This time of year is so awesome. Just coming up. They're showing their head and then they're going back in. This is a great example where using manual focus allows you to focus through the grasses and brush to still get usable footage. You can see here as the rail disappeared into the grasses, the autofocus quickly pulled forward to the grasses in front. And again, this is where having the different options enabled is really important. Working their way around. Oh, that was awesome. It totally came running out of the bushes. Oh, that was so cool. Now here's the same clip in real time to give you an idea of how difficult they really are. That was so cool. I'll show you where I'm shooting. So they're coming out from over here. Looks like they're coming out and feeding. So one of the changes I made today, I was out here, out last night shooting them as well. And I actually made the change with video. I've actually switched to SDR, standard dynamic range, over the N-Log. What I found was switching between photo and video with N-Log, it's only auto ISO to 800, and then to go below that, you've got to go to manual ISO. And I actually found it really difficult, especially with these guys, because it's such a fleeting moment. They'll dart out back into the bushes, into the reeds. They're kind of all over, and they're so quick. I found it just too difficult trying to do it with manual ISO. We have to switch the ISO as well as aperture, and trying to keep your shutter speed where you need it to be without overexposing. It was a bit sunny yesterday, so I had a combination of light. And so for today, I've switched it to SDR, standard dynamic range. And that way the camera's with the settings for shutter speed lock. We've got the shutter speed locked at 1/250th. We've got the video for that. And then with auto ISO and SDR, it'll run all the way down so you can manage your shutter speed. And it let the camera then automatically adjust for the exposure. Makes it a lot easier for subjects like this. And I think it'll actually become my go-to walking out the door. I think SDR for the 120 frames per second video just makes sense. Just less muss and fuss. I find with N-Log trying to kind of do both, too many things going on at once. Okay, let's get back to it and see if we can get them. They're basically working along the reed edge and they're kind of popping in and out. Here's another example of slow motion, 120 frames per second video slowed down to the 30 frames per second timeline versus just dropping it into the timeline at real time to give you an idea of just how difficult these subjects really are. So this is the Tragopan Gilly lens cover. It's great. It's nice because it's fairly compact. It provides enough cover over the lens that I can get behind it. I also had the leg covers, but I knew I was shooting low today, so I didn't bother bringing them. It's nice because it just kind of gives you a nice block combined with the camouflage clothing. Without having to be in a full blind or full coverage, you're still getting really good camouflage. So it's working just awesome today. These rail have kind of been in and out a bunch of times. Yeah, fantastic. Downside having the mic on top, you need to turn the cap back. That was amazing. He just came up and he just paused, gave a bit of a clean, just gave me a look. He was just sitting there. That was just awesome. These two photos are just such a great example of how far technology, both software and hardware, has advanced over the last few years. That's not a typo. These were shot at 16,000 ISO. It's just amazing what you can get out of these cameras today, and the opportunities that they open up that were just not available to us even just a few short years ago. In an upcoming video, I'll be going through my processing of how I utilize both Adobe Lightroom and Topaz software to get results like these. It's so much fun having a camera running on you. You never know what you're going to find running behind you. Look behind me at the back there. I think the first rufous hummingbird just blasted over. Pretty sure that was a rufous. Very cool. Oh, yeah. Knee pads. Kind of work. Well, that was a really fun shoot. Thanks for joining me today. If you feel you're getting some good info out of this channel, I'd really appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Thanks again. Till next time, see you out there.